Ding dong, Avon calling. Today on Geekdomo, we check out Emergent AI, whatever the heck that means, and how it's going to affect you in the game of EverQuest Next. Alright, let's get right into it. EverQuest Next is going to be an absolutely beautiful game, as we all have seen. Now, a beautiful game is one thing, but the artificial intelligence that runs the game behind the scenes, what's going on with the characters, the NPCs, and all of that, is just as important, if not more important, than the actual beauty of the game itself. If you look at some of the more recent games like Guild Wars 2, you notice that the game is absolutely gorgeous, but it fails on a couple respects. We won't go into that right now, but basically, it is a shiny veneer over something that doesn't work. Now, EverQuest Next has said that they are going to have this amazing AI system, and for the most part, it is absolutely incredible. Why I can say something like that is actually quite easy, because the AI program that is running behind the scenes on EverQuest Next is from a company called StoryBricks, or StoryBricks, however you want to pronounce it. Basically, StoryBricks is a software program that allows integrated artificial intelligence to communicate with itself and with anything else that's in the environment. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, basically it works like this. In real world, if you go over to a neighbor's house and you're crying, the neighbor will say, "What's wrong? What's the matter?" And they will be sort of empathic, usually, unless you have a really jerky neighbor. Say you walked up to that neighbor and you yell at them. Their instant reaction is, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And either they will be taken back by it, or they will get angry back at you. In EverQuest Next, the artificial intelligence will do just that. StoryBricks has allowed for this complex series of artificial intelligence communications to be going on behind the scenes. If you walk up to an NPC and you slap them in the face, they're going to get angry. If you walk up to an NPC and yell at them, they're going to get angry. If you walk up to an NPC and you're sad or forlorn, they're going to do what they can to help you out. That doesn't mean you have to walk up to every single NPC in the game and do that sort of emote action, but if you are that sort of character and that's the way you feel at the moment and that's the way you're acting, then that's how the NPCs are going to interact with you. Now go on top of this to another layer of awesomeness. The NPCs will learn of your lore. If you're out in some area and you're slaying hundreds of goblins, you become known as the Goblin Slayer. You walk into town and your reputation will precede you. People will bow to you. They'll, "Oh my gosh, Goblin Slayers come to town," whatever. Now, there have been other games that have done something similar to that, but here is the deal. All of the monsters in the game have this same sort of system. So you kill enough of these goblins, they're going to hate you on sight, whether or not earlier they might have just thought about attacking you. Now they're actually going to freak out and come right for you because they want to kick your ass. They also have their own wants and needs. So a goblin might want to always look for treasure. They might always want to harass another neighbor. They might be wary of horses. They can have a whole series of things that are built into their character individually for every single monster that's in the game. How all of this is going to interact together is absolutely beautiful. Here's why. You go out and you hunt lots and lots of goblins. You get named the Goblin Slayer. When you go back into town, everyone loves you and everyone is excited because you are taking care of the scourge that's bothering the town. Out in the other area are the goblins themselves. You are now getting a reputation with them. They're going to now kill you on sight, but before they do that, they might have a part of their AI built in to whenever they feel threatened, they might be able to go over and ask the kobolds for some help. Or they might go over to another area and see if they can enlist some other sort of monster to help out every time you come around. So now you show up at the goblin camp and go to slay them like you have been doing willy-nilly, and all of a sudden kobolds come out of the woodwork, or some other type of monster comes out and starts helping. That is the Emergent AI. As the artificial intelligence gets built, it continues to grow. You have a rally point, and we'll go into rally points tomorrow, but you have a rally point where you come in and you build a town, and everybody on the server comes and builds up this town. But it's really close to a kobold camp. The kobolds are not going to like that. So before, where they were sort of passive, they all of a sudden decide they're going to start raiding this new town that you just set up. That is built into their character. It's not built into a pre-scripted scenario. That is the major difference between EverQuest Next and other MMOs of this ilk, is the ability for the AI to grow and change. It is not all pre-scripted. So yes, they might at one point come out and raid the town, but later on, kobolds have a thing to where every third day they're lazy and they don't decide to raid on the other days because they're just hanging out eating their bits of bones and stuff that they've been gnawing on. all NPCs are going to have their own needs and wants too. Here's a good example. Say you go out to an inn, and the inn is run by two people, a husband and a wife team. Every single time you walk into the inn, the wife is standing behind the countertop, so you go up and you talk to her. And because you become friends with her, she will recognize you more and more as you come up. Now, as long as you're not nefarious and have some sort of evil taint about you, every single time you walk up to her and you start buying things from her, she becomes more comfortable with you as a character that she recognizes. Your friendship with her will grow. She has a husband, and her husband has built into his character traits, he's a jealous type. The first 5 or 6 times you interact with his wife, not a problem. But the subsequent 20th time you keep interacting with her, he will then start to not like you. So then the next time you walk into the bar, she's not there. She's in the kitchen and she's doing something else. The AI is built into where they will wander around in the particular set area. And you have to talk to him to buy your and sell your goods. He will give you a larger price increase for things you need to buy and pay you less for things that you were going to sell to him. That is built in because of the character trait system, and the more you interact with every NPC in the game, the more things change, just like in the real world. If you have a neighbor who you talk to all the time, you guys become friends and you can build up a relationship and a rapport with that person who's your neighbor. If you have another neighbor who you never talk to and you suddenly go up and ask him for a favor, it might not happen. And that's what's going to happen in this game. Now, a little bit about StoryBricks. StoryBricks is a separate company from SOE, Sony Online Entertainment. They decided to build this sort of advanced AI by watching Scratch from MIT Lab. They used it as a reference when they were making their StoryBricks interface. It is a visual language that they can use to build interactions between characters within a complex series. Within the StoryBricks AI, there will be things such as the emotional state of the character, relationships with other NPCs and other players, personalities, such as maybe a guard is very dutiful, he's very honor-bound, but he's kind of a jerk, whereas the guard standing next to him is dutiful, honor-bound, but actually is quite kind. So as you walk up to one of these guards, they will be interacting with you differently than another guard. One last thing before we wrap up for today. The content for the NPCs. So most of the time in other MMOs, even in EverQuest, you walked up to a NPC and they were a quest giver and you waited to see if they had a question mark over their head or an exclamation point to drop off, whatever, and you talked with them. Now you'll be able to do that, but they're not necessarily going to give you a quest the same way every single time because of your interaction with them. Maybe they'll say, hey, I want you to go do this, or hey, I would like you to do this, or they might not give out quests at all. A lot of the quests will be built in to the area as you walk into them. Those of you who have been playing more recent patches of World of Warcraft know this. As you go through some of the newer dungeons, as you walk through the dungeon, the quest pops up on your screen on the right, and as you finish the section of that dungeon that quest was assigned for, it automatically gives you the next experience and bonus and all the goodies that come with it, and you get the next quest in the chain. Same kind of thing is going to happen here with EverQuest. You walk into an area, you don't necessarily have to interact with the NPCs. It will be built in, so you just walk in, do the quest, and leave, and you get your experience, your bonuses, your goodies, whatever else is going to come from the quest. Alright, that about wraps it up for my introduction to NPCs, Emergent AI, and StoryBricks. I do want to cover one last thing before we go. I do not read any of this stuff from a script, so when I make these videos, it is completely off the cuff. I do a lot of research beforehand, and I just basically say what I think about it. I am not the end-all be-all to every single thing that is for EverQuest Next. I can make mistakes. I did make a mistake the other day when I said that Minecraft was a voxel-based game, where in fact it was not. The whole point of that discussion with it being a voxel-based game plus a procedurally generated game actually was to show more of the relationship between being able to dig and build plus being a persistent world. There is no other game like EverQuest Next, so I could not show a game that was both a voxel game plus a building game. There's a game called Cube World where you can go and play in a voxel game, but you can't build and dig like you can in Minecraft. So although the analogy was not perfect, I think most people got it, but some people were really offended that I called it a voxel game where in fact it was not. So I apologize to those people. I just try to do the best and put out the information as best I can. Thanks a lot for watching me, everybody, today. I hope you enjoyed our little show, and I will be back again tomorrow Tomorrow we are going to cover rallying cries and talk about how they're different from public quests and what's the same about them too. Alright, so until next time, I will see you very soon. See ya! Iskar, Iskar.